What's up, Zoe?
What's going on, brother?
Man, I appreciate it, man. You know,
I appreciate it, brother.
it's a long time in the making. You know, Ty been trying to hit me. She's like, "Hey, we're Haitian. What were you fucking up the package?" I'm like, "I know, Ty." Like, no, you don't know. How you doing this space and we're in this space and you're not making it happen. So one thing I know, she holding you down business-wise, emotional-wise, everything-wise.
She's the truth, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You know, so let's really get officially started. Yo, this is 50.com. The Heineken is here. Who in the building, in the set, in the box, in the screen. We got DJ Stakz, aka the light-skinned rich Haitian, because you know when you're light skinned, that means you're from the mountains.
Oh man, nah, I came from the bottom, worked my way up.
But aside from everything you're doing, you are a really big DJ out there. You do like really big venues, big tours. I've seen you rock stages of 80,000, which I don't know how you can, the anxiety, because you got to control the crowd. And if you don't get right, we from New York, so we come from that era. If the music ain't right, kill the DJ.
Facts, big facts.
Talk about a little bit of your journey, how you be, because everybody's trying to be a DJ, but nobody gets it to the point where they at your level.
I mean, you know, first things first, you know, DJ Stakz, shouts to everybody watching. This is 50 right here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know, listen, honestly, you know, my older brothers got me into music. My father got me into music. And it was just something that like a passion that I just took it seriously, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I had a full-time job. I got degrees. I got 2 degrees. And I literally put everything to the side and told myself, like, you know, I want to take this seriously. And I gave myself a time frame. And, you know, if it didn't fit between that time frame, if it didn't work between that time frame, then I would have just, you know, do what I have to do. But I don't know, brother. I put God on my side and kept it going, man.
You said you had works and jobs like that. Like, what type of jobs did you have? The reason why I'm asking is because so many people are in that space, because a lot of the times people get the impression of, I just did this, I never had a job, this happened to me. But the real story is, yo, I'm working a 9-to-5 to fund this career, and you're trying to find what did it take for you to leave that job?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It was one of those things. Well, you know, I went to school, got my degree in computer information systems, computer science, and engineering, and I was working at the United States Postal Service, but I was in the international building by JFK. So I had a pretty sweet job, man, at the age of 20, 21. You know, they paid pretty well, and it was just, I was doing parties, doing events, and I started realizing that I was getting closer and closer to certain people, you know, like the Wyclefs of the world and people like that. And I just said, yo, listen, man, I love music too much for me not to give it my all. Like, I literally like love music. And, you know, I felt like I was going to give it what I had to give it. So I literally resigned. I gave him my 2 weeks, just in case I had to ever go back.
You said just in case.
You feel me? I gave him my 2 weeks, and from there, I just started grinding. I mean, I saved a little money before that to hold me down, and then I just, you know, just went on.
And so now, what does it take for you to get to the status you at? What was that breaking point for you, that moment of clarity where it's like, I'm just not a DJ doing this?
I mean, to me, it was just hard work, consistency, and just developing the skill of actually entertaining. See, it's one thing to be a DJ and be on the tables and stand behind, and you can chop it up and do whatever, but I feel like it's another thing to be able to interact with the crowd and actually do things on your pace. So us as DJs, everything's a count. You know, we do the 8-bar, whatever, quarter, you know what I'm saying? But when you could actually take yourself away from that and actually step to the stage and actually, you know, talk to the people and interact and have them do certain things and then go back comfortably, that's when I feel like you're stepping into another level of entertainment. It's no longer just DJing at that point.
Of course. But what was that party or that set you had or whatever that, because there's a point where it's like, I was doing this, but I've got to this point because
it was actually a night at Amazura.
Oh, okay.
It was a night at Amazura. Amazura's in Queens, for those who don't know. And it's probably the biggest club we got out here in New York in terms of size-wise in the boroughs.
Yeah.
And I was in the back, I was mixing, and I just felt like the people weren't giving me the energy that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I went. It's like stages. Like in the beginning of my career, I never touched the mic. I got to a point where I started touching the mic and I started feeling comfortable. Now, that night, I felt like it was like this aggression. It was like this feeling like, nah. I feel like I'm not getting the attention that I want right now. So I literally just stepped from behind the set, and everybody looking at me on stage because the next band is setting up to play. And everybody looking at me like, what is he doing? And I just started just talking to the people and grasping their attention. Like, yo, I'm here. Like, yo, this is Stakz. Like, what's up? And it was all love. And the love that they gave me just fueled me to just keep going from then. And I just started working on my craft and working on how to deliver certain speeches and certain things to say and things of that nature.
Nah, and now because you're in an interesting space because you're not just, because everybody knows you in the Haitian market and you've dominated. Right. And it's gotten to the point in hip hop, it seems like everyone's Haitian now. Diddy, Lil Wayne, Trina, you got LA Haitian, so it's merging right. How are you balancing that? Because speaking with Ty, she's like, he's just not for this market. And I'm like, I'm aware, because I know broads from Trinidad and Jamaica, they know you. Right. So how are you balancing that? Because the balancing part is actually one of the hardest things because, for a while, like I started outside of the Haitian community. And I was in a lot of the dancehall events and stuff like that. Because, Brooklyn is like the mecca. Oh, of course. The gun shops, Church Avenue.
Yeah, everything. So I grew up in dancehall. And then, I learned the hip hop, of course, dancehall hip hop. And then to learn the culture, like I was always part of the culture in terms of my family. I always knew the music, but I never really went to the events like that. Started going to the events, started realizing that the DJs are playing what I play, which is the dancehall and the hip hop, some of them. But some of the speeches and the deliveries wouldn't be the same, or how they had an accent or certain things. So, I said, all right, cool. So I started shifting over. But I shifted over so much and literally took over the market, like on a grand scale, not just New York, like literally across the states, with traveling, touring, everything.
You got Montreal, you got Boston, you got the whole.
It was the beginning was crazy. So now it was so crazy. Now I got to keep up with it. But I got to a point where I felt like I started hitting a ceiling. And I started like, okay, this but so many times.
Because you talking real business shit. I hate cutting you off because you speak.
No, you good. Let's go.
No. But that ceiling talk is real because you could be getting money. You blazing the right girls. You got the right car. Your family's good. And next thing you know, the game shifts on you. So how are you able to identify you hit a ceiling? That's real talk right there.
Nah, the ceiling was what's funny is that it was this girl at the time that I was chopping it up with, and she's like, yo, Stakz, I see so much more in you. Like, let me ask you a question. I said, what's up? She was like, what's your schedule for next year? Let's say 2022. And I go, all right, well, January, I'm in Amazura. February, I got my Lovers Rock. March, I'm in let's say Highline Ballroom. And I'm giving the rundown of what I know for sure.
Yeah.
And she goes, all right, cool. How long you been doing that for? That same schedule. I'm like, I got Amazura on lock. Every big Haitian American party is me. Maybe 6-7 years. She's like, really? She said, all right, cool. She said, so what changed? I'm like, what you mean what changed? She was like, yo, you know your schedules. Like, you know what to expect. The people know what to expect from you. You're going to, okay, Stakz is going to tear the building down. What's next? And I was just like, wow. Like, I sat there and I was just like, wow, like, okay. So then I just started shifting certain things. And it was like, what you expected from me, playing-wise, you wasn't going to get anything. I'm going to change it up. You know what I'm saying? Do something different. Some of the events, I started feeling like maybe, you know what, I'm too easily, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, accessible for this type of event. So you know what? I'm going to start chopping it up. Nah, I can't do this event. I probably wasn't even booked that day. Like, I'm going to make you miss me now. And then that part of the transition to also transitioning to go back outside now was also something. Because now you got, everybody's, in their field. So now you got hip-hop DJs like, damn, Stakz is coming over here. He already got this Haitian world, the Haitian American world, Haitian anything world at this point, whether it be Trini, Guyanese, like we had all types of people at our parties till this day. But now it's like he's coming over here. And you know that so a lot of people have that crab in the barrel mentality. So they're not trying to let you come over and shine. So then that became a challenge. So then it's like I have a point to prove once again. You understand? So, and it happens everywhere, the dancehall world, the soca world, the hip hop world. But I can honestly say that God has given me that gift, that people have accepted me and accepted the talents and accepted everything that I've done and bring to the table. So I'll go to the soca party and play soca, but I play differently from the average soca DJ. Same thing goes for dancehall. Same thing goes for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But the transition is real. The transition is real, but you have to realize when you're hitting that ceiling and when things is changing and the game is changing, you have to shift with the game too.
Of course. But you know, it's so easy when you got the money coming in, the notoriety of this and that. And because, you know, we're both Haitian, it's interesting because you know how the parents are. Oh, correct. Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Correct.
And you know, there's certain parts of your family, you can make $10 million right now, Stakz. The fact that you didn't wear a suit and tie and didn't work 50 hours.
Not respected.
They're going to say, or you got lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I commend your courage on that because I know what it is to
it was definitely real with the family. It was definitely real. You know, my parents were a little bit more, even though older, they were more open-minded.
Okay.
So, you know, they're like, oh, you outside every night and or you with all types of different people. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not easily influenced. Like I move how I move on my own time. So, you know, I'm around everybody. I got all types of friends. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna participate in certain things. You feel me? And
the hairstyle.
It wasn't until
the hair. You know how Haitians hate the braids and the dreads too.
Oh, all that, all that. Listen, I done got it. I done got the Juma, everything. They joued me for a minute, bro. Oh, I'm so vagabond. I'm the vagabond. Yeah. Steve, I got it. Yeah. I got all that, bro. But when I showed and proved, like, yo, it wasn't for nothing, and they saw the income now. And now I'm taking care of home. Now I'm taking care of home. And I'm like, yo, I want you guys to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to take care of the bills. And then it's like, oh, wow. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they trusted in me. And then, you know, I made it work.
Now you got these parties, especially Miami, Haitian Flag Day, you know, one of the biggest Haitian Heritage Month. You got 7-6 days booked, 3 to 4 events per day. I don't know. You have a special like Rolls Royce limo that's transporting you. My nigga, this is ridiculous work. I've done this type of work. How did this all come about? How did you create such a staple, especially in another state where, you know, people are really finicky about people coming into their state and running shit?
Right. Well, I mean, the game is chess, not checkers, man. I feel like, and when you're naturally blessed, I feel like it's just gonna happen like that. Like me, I used to go to Florida a lot. I got a lot of family in Florida. So I was in Little Haiti. I was in Overtown. I was in certain places just chilling, like as a kid. So, you know, being in New York and started doing the music thing and getting the love everywhere, you know, it was cool. So when I started that, the hype in New York was already there. Like New York was already on Smash. I was already destroying Boston. I was already destroying like Jersey and other places. So now I started playing, you know, a party here and there in Miami. But then again, when I'm playing the party here and there in Miami, it was key weekends where a lot of New Yorkers is out there. So, you know, me, I'm all New York. You know how that works. Yo, you from Brooklyn? Nah. So it just built this momentum for me. And then I went from playing other people's events to, let me throw an event. Okay, boom. Let me throw this event. But we were throwing events where it was like, it was free. Free food, free liquor, free everything, bro. Like
setting up the, you know,
spending the bag, but setting up the vibes. And then started another party to pay for this party because it started getting expensive.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're doing a mansion party, you're spending $8,000 on that, and then food and all that. So
and it just wax is gone.
Right. And it just grew. It grew and it grew the momentum and people just love it. Now I'm always about creating scenarios where everything is different. So I don't want to do a regular party. I don't go to Miami to be inside of a club every day. We're in Miami. We're from New York. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I didn't have a pool. I didn't have certain luxuries that certain people had. So, to throw a barbecue was a big deal when you're in the hood or certain things of that nature. So to me, it's like I go to Miami, it's hot. I want to be outside. I want to be in a pool. I want to barbecue. I want to do, those type of things. I want to do a foam party. So what I did, created a foam party, a Flags and Foam. It's Haitian Flag Day weekend. You know what I'm saying? But what I did also is twisted to it. It's not just about the Haitians. It's the culture. We want to expose the culture to other people. So I would invite a lot of my good friends, which are other DJs that are from other nationalities. So when they talk about it, it's like, oh, I thought it was just a Haitian weekend. Oh, nah, it's lit. It's lit? Okay, cool. Because they expect me to say it. They expect me to say, oh, the Haitian Flag Day weekend is lit. Because I'm Haitian. And they know I'm ride or die for the culture. So now I start putting other people in place. So when they talk about it now, it's like, oh, wow, let me go. And then that's how it just grew. Like the beach parties, 8,000, 9,000 people. The most we ever had was 10,000. You know what I'm saying? The Flags and Foam parties at like 3,000 people right now. The boat ride sells out 2 months in advance. Welcome to Miami. It's like we just add different things, and it's been a blessing, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a super blessing.
What did COVID do to you, brand wise, recognition wise, financial wise, spiritual? Because it derailed your mega event, which you still figured out a way to do it virtually. But like, what did you go through? What did you have to shift and think about? Because I wasn't doing those Zooms, and somebody's like, if you don't do this, you ain't gonna make no money.
Right.
So where did you have to shift?
I mean, I've always been an online person, but I can say that I've never been the one to like going live.
Yeah,
my manager, she used to always be like, yo, you gotta go live more. You gotta go live more. And I'm like, for what? I'm posting videos. I was all about posting videos of me in action and posting what was coming up. But the live thing I never did. So when COVID hit and we started realizing the transition of people gotta stay inside, all right, cool, let's start the live thing. So then we started it. I just started playing. And you got your friends on your live and stuff like that. And she took it further than that and just started contacting certain people. Like, yo, listen, we got this brand. Stakz is the brand. Stakz is, signed to Monster, has all these, sponsorships and is an ambassador for this and this. And the following on my page alone was just crazy. So we started shifting the VP Records, the Vibe Magazine, you know what I'm saying? We started doing all types of different platforms. So now that actually helped me grow because other people that probably never would have heard of me started hearing about me and seeing the talent and seeing the physical talent online and seeing the love that I was getting. So on top of the cash apps, we had the cash apps, but then we had the contracts. So I'm not gonna lie, like financially was super dope. I was making a good amount of money per day.
Okay.
Like that. And to be home in a t-shirt and some shorts with the brand on, repping all day Monster, the vibes. Like, it was beautiful to see, to it helped me actually learn a lot more music. I was studying a lot more. I was doing a lot more homework that I didn't have time to do before. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like musically, it brought me to a different level. On a business level, same. On a spiritual level, same. Because, we was going through a crazy time.
Of course.
And to realize that you are actually helping somebody else. When people are hitting me with messages like, yo, you don't understand. I was almost going crazy. You helped my day. I feel like I was this. I lost my job. And it's like, to know that you're helping people, even though you're going through it yourself, was a beautiful feeling. I mean, I went through crazy transitions, man. Lost friends. You know what I'm saying? Gained new friends. It was definitely, and still is definitely, a crazy time, but it put me in a better position and better place with myself, I should say.
All right. How did the collaboration with Monster happen? I know you can't give away too many business secrets because then
No. I mean, honestly, it was just, I think, right place, right time.
Of course.
A friend of a friend, putting the bug out. But that day, it was at the DJ Con. It was like this conference. And all the big top companies was there. Pioneer was there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of DJs was there. And I was literally just going from set to set, just playing. I played on the Union set, on the Pioneer set. And I was just going around rocking. And we was just talking to people, mixing and mingling. My manager's running around doing what she do. I was running around doing what I do. And then it was just one of those things where like, oh, this is such and such. Yeah, I heard about it. What's up? What's going on? And then push forward, an hour later, yo, let's meet up in the conference room. All right, cool. met up in a conference room, and I'm thinking it's like an interview or one of those type of things, and it was a general conversation about hip hop, like who you like. You're one of my favorite rappers. Oh, Rakim. Oh, really? Da-da-da-da-da. It was just so natural. And then, you know, after conversation, and it was like, yo, you know, let's make it happen. Shout out to Jason Monster for real. Also,
no, respect. Who in the Haitian community who in the hip hop community has shown you a lot of love that you didn't expect, and in the Haitian community, because you're in both equally?
I mean, I want to say one, Wyclef, because he's in both.
Yeah.
Technically in both. In terms of rappers, in terms of what?
Anything that was like, oh, word. I didn't, you know, because it's so broad.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It is broad. I mean, it's been a lot.
Something that sticks out in your mind.
A lot of different places, different people. I mean, Half Pierre.
Okay.
I want to say Wyclef. Rick Ross definitely showed love. We were actually the first to do Rick Ross in Brooklyn back in like 2007. We brought him to Brooklyn. I mean, it's just, it goes on and on, bro. A lot of love for a lot of different places, and people who still, there's people that I know that probably knew from 10 years ago that are now like, oh damn, I didn't know you was that big of a deal, or I didn't know, because you know, people don't really know unless they see, and sometimes you have to bring them to your world to see it. They may hear a little something, but they're so caught up in their own world that it's, you know, they're not looking into it, or they don't really know that you can benefit their world until they actually see it. Then it's like, oh, wow, he's doing Curl Fest, 40,000 people. You know what I'm saying? He's doing Roll It Loud. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know, because I assumed that you were just in the Haitian market. You feel me?
Come on now, Curl Fest. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
you know,
Curl Fest.
What's that like?
Listen, Curl Fest is,
that's not a place.
It's heaven on earth, I should say, to me, because it's literally 90% women. Yeah. So a guy like me, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Curl Fest is really about, you know, I guess natural beauty, natural hair products, the melanin. It's that whole movement. You know what I'm saying? But it's beautiful people, man. It's a beautiful event, and it's held by women. Nothing but women. It's women that produce that event. So it's a beautiful thing, and the fact that they even allowed me into that, because before me, I think it was just female DJs, and there might have been another DJ, but you know, a sponsorship deal hit. You know, shouts to Uber Soca Cruise. They sponsored Curl Fest with me, in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense. So I was the product that they gave to Uber to Curl Fest. And since then, to bring the Caribbean feel out. And since then, it's been, the contract is signed and sealed. Like, nah, Stakz. Uber Soca Cruise, Stakz, Curl Fest, automatic.
Who else is helping to get the Stakz Haitian Flag Day event going? Because you know, Ty was telling me the websites, the grams, the pages, all the Haitian people who in there is really helping driving this.
I mean, a lot of the blogs. You got L'Union Suite.
Oh yeah,
definitely on board. Shouts to Wanda. Haitians of New York, New Jersey. I mean, it's a lot of the blogs. A lot of the blogs that actually believe in the brand. You know, they definitely push the culture forward with myself.
All right, Stakz, before we close out.
Talk to me.
What is this experience going to be like if they've never went to DJ Stakz Instagram page, if they've never went to any of the Haitian blogs, the Union?
Listen,
what are we going to see?
Listen, the experience is like none other, I promise you, and that's hands down. I've been to all type of fests. I've been to all type of events, and shouts to everybody, but I take a little bit of everything and bring it into one. I'm talking about it's straight partying, nonstop, safe partying. You know, God has blessed me with no issues. Let me knock on wood thus far. And it's just like mind blowing. Like you're going from one event to the next, and it's just nonstop fun, nonstop positive energy. It's like, you ever see the it's like the raves. Oh yeah, they wilding out, they having a good time, but then it's all love, and that's what it is. It's all and me, I preach love. I preach positive. It could be a craziest trap set in the world. Like I'm preaching nothing but unity at the end of the day. You know what? To me, that's what the red and blue is to me.
That reminds me of this party that they used to have in Montreal called Bala Blanc. They used to hold it in the Olympic Center where the Expos used to play, and it was everybody dressed in white, and they were all on ecstasy. Some mega party in Montreal and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you saying the raves and everything, it brought me back. Your go-to Haitian meal, like your favorite Haitian meal of all time. Like if they was to put on a plate, what you going for?
Me right now? Nah, that I need that G.I. Jones on that black rice with some lumbi and anything else on there is fine. But those two right there, I gotta have that too right there. The black rice and the lumbi.
Mine is the D Collet with the poisson frit. Rio, the bon appetit. Oh, I'm a.
Oh, you want a whole fritai and plus meal.
Oh yeah.
It is the poisson and the grill.
Yo, I forgot you also do great events in Haiti because people always talk about it looks like some refugee place, and I'm like, you do know that Haiti looks just like Jamaica. They just not showing you because they don't want you in there.
Facts. Nah, that's how I came up with Spring Break Haiti. It was like, I've been all across the world, and I'm like, why nobody's talking about going to Haiti for vacation? And the timing was right. You know what I'm saying? The planning was right. So we kicked it off probably 2018. And it was just like, yo, we're bringing people to Haiti. And I wanted to do it to where it wasn't necessarily for people in Haiti, because I started getting backlash like, oh, why the price is so high, or how come there's nobody involved that's in Haiti? Because Haiti's one of those places, man, unfortunately. It could be like that anywhere. It's like, the whole outside thing, the whole, like you said, the whole coming from the outside. And I went through it in Miami, but the love overpowered the hate. So, I always was able to get over that hump. With Haiti, it was the same thing. It was like, oh, y'all letting Stakz, even though I'm the biggest Haitian DJ name in Haiti that don't live in Haiti. You understand? Like, outside of that.
How do you get away with, because, there's times, it be thuggish in there. You see how the corruption is. And you got the refugee, well, not the refugees, but you got Tilapui and all of them.
Right.
They got a dude called Barbecue who's going around torching cribs. You got Rambo.
I mean, listen, I stay away from all that, man. I stay away from politics. People know me. I'm all about music and love. Even though politics and music may mix sometimes, because music speaks about politics depending on who's doing it. But I stay away from the politics. I'm all about love. At the end of the day. So I show everybody love, no matter what's going on and what position they're in and what they didn't do. I'm not here to judge nobody. For me, I just do what I do. My goal is to show the world that Haiti isn't what they've been seeing all this time. And it worked. We did it 2 years back to back, 1,000+ people. Everybody had a grand time. You can check the videos on my YouTube, DJ Stakz. And it's been dope. Same as New York. It's like, I do the biggest events in New York. I'm not gonna stay on a general like Caribbean scale, but on a Haitian American, urban Caribbean scale is me. Amazora, Amadeus, Highline Ballroom, BB Kings. Like I've recreated history over and over again, and to me it's a blessing. And I feel like it's because I've put the culture on my back. So people that are like, oh my God, we see Stakz now. He repping Haiti, but he tear up hip-hop, he tear up the dance, so they know they're getting a little bit of everything and the best of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of my friends, all of my DJ friends, is pretty much all the top people around the world. Those are all people that I'm cool with. So we exchange information. Yo, this is the hottest compa. Yo, this is the hottest reggae. Yo, this, and I take lessons from them. Like, yo, if I'm playing a dancehall set, what's the vibes? And they'll show me the energy. Same way I'll show them the energy.
Of course.
So it's love all around.
Yeah, it's building and growth. Stakz, man, I appreciate this sit down, man. This is, very.
I appreciate you, brother.
The energy, these types of exchange of dialogue is always needed for the momentum of getting money, creativity, wealth building, all of that. Saying I get a lot out of this too. So it meant a lot to me as well, because I know how busy you are maneuvering around and things. Because I know you had a photo shoot last night and everything too. So, but you're gonna be out there in Miami. I'm gonna be right next to you in the DJ booth.
Let's go. Be outside.
Phone that shoots in movie quality. Pure Dizort in the right.
But listen, man, I appreciate you for definitely giving me the opportunity to even speak on this platform. Shouts to 50 and the whole movement. Shouts to This Is 50. Shouts to yourself, my brother. Shouts to all the sponsors. You know what I'm saying? I got Monster. I got Figures Wireless. I got Audio Mac. I got, oh my God, like Toucan's headphones that actually blessed me with this right here.
Okay.
They actually paid for the piece, sent the invoice and all of that. I mean, shouts to all the sponsors, Bart and Nora. I think I might be one of the most sponsored DJs out here in New York City. I don't know. Let me talk.
Hey.
You know what I mean? But shouts to all the Zoes, shouts to everybody as a whole, man, for real.
All right, man, Stakz, thank you. Make sure.
Let me ask you a question though. So you call is Heineken your favorite drink? Like that's why they call you?
Nah, that was from I started going to the strip clubs when I was really young, like because you know, I came up in the era where Haitians wouldn't give you money. You know, I'd be like, oh, I don't understand to buy you sneakers and all of that. And I didn't want to do shit in the streets. So I just said, all right, I'm going to go get a job. And they were like, yo, we don't want you working. Because I was coming home like midnight, 1 a.m. and shit like that. And they were just on some, we don't want you working. I said, well, you want me to sell drugs? And they're like, all right, you work. And then I used to work at the Port Authority, and they had a strip club over there. So I'm 17. I'm still going to high school. But they always felt like I had an older energy. So I would go in there, and I was just shoving Heineken bottles in the strippers' boxes and shit like that. Bottoms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know.
Oh, you was on that timing.
Oh, dog. I've been
that by Boutte.
Oh, of course. We Zocla. La get boy no ball all day.
Yo, nah.
Yeah, so I don't, you know, if they want to sponsor me, it's my favorite beer.
I mean, listen, you made it popular in a different scale.
Yeah, but to drink it, nah, I don't have an issue with it. It just never. It was just that was the vibe then. It was just more Heineken bottles. I was just picking them up because the stripper showed me. She did it to. She showed it. She's like, she put it in, and she's like, "What you think about that?" I was like, and it was a deuce. It wasn't a regular one.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Yo, I think that's absolutely disgusting because my joint is nowhere near wide as a deuce. Like, you know, a deuce bottom up."
Yeah, nah, that's OD.
I ain't, but you know, she got.
Yo, you're a fool, bro.
Yeah, you want? I'm not gonna lie to the gods. Yeah, but
I appreciate you, man. Shouts to my HPMG family as well, man. For real, high profile music group.
And we're gonna be out there in Miami together, man, having fun, all of that, plus tax and more. So let's get
plus tax and more. That's a fact, man. May 12th to the 17th, Miami Takeover Weekend. It's a movie nonstop. Drink a lot of Monster Energy because you're gonna need it.
Oh, let's go.